In the spotlight tonight is Mark Howdle from London, an investment banker. His specialist subject is the history of the European Union. Ruth Newbury from Bedfordshire, a teacher. Hers is the What Katy Did novels. Doug Smith from Bath, a postgraduate student, and his subject is the television series Star Trek: The Next Generation. And Derek Hayes from Collidge in Lancashire, a school teacher, whose subject is the history of Manchester United. Hello and welcome to Mastermind with me, John Humphreys. I'm sure you know the rules by now. They are not exactly complicated. We have two sets of questions, both lasting for 2 minutes. The first on the specialist subject and the second on general knowledge. All we want to do is find out how much our contenders know and whether they can remember it under pressure. One of them may go through to the finals with the chance of becoming Mastermind, a much coveted honour. So let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
Mark Howdle.
Occupation?
Investment banking.
And your chosen subject?
The history of the European Union.
In 2 minutes, starting now, who was appointed president of the High Authority of the European Coal and Steel Community in 1952, going on to form the Action Committee for the United States of Europe?
Jean Monnet.
Correct. In which country was the European Union police mission launched in January 2003, the first such undertaking by the EU?
Pass.
Who created the French Council for a United Europe in June 1947, an organisation that was later absorbed into the European movement?
Pass.
In 1962, the EAGGF was set up to administer assistance where needed. What do these initials stand for?
Pass.
Which country held the presidence of the EC when the finance and foreign ministers of the member states signed the Maastricht Treaty in 1992?
The UK.
Portugal. In 1958, which Dutch farmer's son became the EEC's first Commissioner for Agriculture?
Sicko Mansholt.
Correct. Which country's application in July 1987 for membership of the EU was turned down on the grounds that it was not a European country?
Morocco.
Correct. With which body did the European Union sign an interim association agreement on trade and cooperation in February 1997 in order to facilitate trade and political dialogue?
Pass.
The basis of a common agricultural policy was formulated at a conference in which town in Piedmont, Italy, between the 3rd and 11th of July 1958?
Stresa.
Correct. Which Conservative politician was President of the European Parliament between 1987 and 89, the only Briton to date to have held the post?
Lord Plum.
Yes. The Western Union Treaty of 1948 was also known as the Treaty of Brussels, was signed by the Benelux countries, France and which other nation?
The UK.
Yes. Established in 1977, which body examines the EU's accounts and checks that financial management has been sound?
The Council of Auditors.
The Court of Auditors. In June 2000 in Lisbon, the first of a number of bilateral summits was conducted between the EU and which Asian country?
Pass.
In total, how many members of the European Parliament were elected when the first direct elections were held in June 1979?
Pass.
In which year, I've just started the question, I shall finish it, in which year did the United Kingdom first take over the presidency of the European Communities?
1975.
2 years out, it was 1977. You had 6 passes there. It was 410 members of the European Parliament elected in 79. India was the first of a number of bilateral summits. The Palestine Liberation Organization was the body that signed that interim association agreement. EAGGF stands for European Agricultural Guidance and Guarantee Fund. René Cotin created the French Council for a United Europe in June 1947, and the first policing mission was in Bosnia and Herzegovina. You had those 6 passes. You have Mark Howdle, 7 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Ruth Newbury.
Occupation?
Teacher.
And your chosen subject?
The Susan Coolidge What Katy Did novels.
2 minutes starting now. What is the name of the town where Katy and her family live?
Burnett.
Correct. Published in 1891, what was the last of the series about Katy and her family?
In the High Valley.
Yes, in What Katy Did After Cousin Helen told a story about robbers, what did Phil say that the robbers under his bed were doing?
Chewing his India rubbers.
Yes, although vowing at the age of 13 to devote her life to teaching at Sunday school, Cecily Hall, Katy's friend, married which lawyer before she was 20?
Sylvester Slack.
Correct. In What Katy Did at School, what is the name of the assistant principal of the boarding school at Hillsover?
Miss Nipson.
Yes, when Katy fell off the swing in What Katy Did, according to Aunt Izzy, what caused the swing to break?
A staple came out of the rafter in the roof, holding
Yes.
up one side.
What does Mrs. Ash tell Dr. Carr is the name of her brother Ned's ship in What Katy Did Next?
The Natchitoches.
Yes, when the children go for a picnic at the place they call Paradise in What Katy Did, which path chosen by Katy do they first take?
Oh, the path of the Blue Fairy or something
No,
like
the
that.
Pilgrim's Path. When Katy is bedridden after her fall from the swing, which school does Cousin Helen say she should learn from?
The School of Pain.
Yes, when Katy and Clover meet Lily Page at the Massasoit Hotel in What Katy Did at School, Lily eats 9 of what for breakfast?
Waffles.
Yes, in What Katy Did Next, Katy, Mrs. Ash and Amy are assailed for alms by members of which group of mendicant friars as they come out of the baptistery in Pisa?
The Brothers of Mercy.
The Brethren of the Order of Mercy, yes. In What Katy Did, Aunt Izzy buys which make of sled on Katy's behalf as a Christmas present for Johnny?
Snow Skimmer.
Yes. When Mrs. Nipson is put in charge of Hillsover School after Mrs. Florence leaves to get married, what does she decree that the girls must eat 3 times a week instead of meat?
Pudding.
Puddings and...
With berries sprinkled on the top.
It was puddings and bread and butter. What is the full name of the girl known as Rose Red in What Katy Did at School?
Rosamond Redding.
Yes, in What Katy Did Next. Finish the question. What kind of jam does she choose to have with her muffins for her first breakfast in England?
Gooseberry.
Gooseberry it was. Ruth Newbury, you had no passes. You've scored 13 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Doug Smith,
Your occupation?
postgraduate student.
And your chosen subject?
The television series Star Trek: The Next Generation.
2 minutes on that, starting now. How does Jean-Luc Picard always order his favourite beverage from the replicator?
Earl Grey hot.
Yes. Who is the mother of Commander Sailor who led the Romulan attempt to invade the planet Vulcan in unification?
Tasha Yar.
Yes. What name is given to the Klingon delicacy, a dish of serpent worms served live, offered to Will Riker when he's assigned aboard the Park as an exchange officer?
Gach.
Yes. In Cause and Effect, when the Enterprise is trapped in a time loop, what's the implanted message that Data recognises just in time to save the ship?
3.
Yes. At which battle did Locutus lead the Borg against the Federation, destroying 39 Federation vessels and killing nearly 11,000 Starfleet personnel?
Wolves 359.
Yes, in the show's second series, who replaced Dr. Beverly Crusher as Chief Medical Officer on the Enterprise?
Catherine Pulaski.
Correct. Data is defining what when he says, as I experience certain sensory input patterns, my mental pathways become accustomed to them. The inputs eventually are anticipated and even missed when absent.
Emotion.
Friendship. When Wesley left the Enterprise for Starfleet Academy, whom did Jean-Luc Picard suggest he seek out for advice and guidance?
Boothby.
Yes. What was the Borg designation of Hugh before he was given his human name on the Enterprise?
3rd of 5.
Yes, in Klingon culture, a person who acts as a lieutenant to a warrior during a ritual challenge, a role assumed by Picard for Worf, is given what title?
Chadich.
Yes. To which race of humanoids did Mott, the barber on the Enterprise, belong?
The Bolians.
Yes. In Deja Q, when Q has been deprived of his powers by the Continuum, what does Guinan do to him to check that he is mortal?
Stabs him with a fork.
He does. What is Luxana Troy's pet name for her daughter, Deanna, the ship's counsellor on the Enterprise?
Little one.
Yes, in peak performance, Will Riker was given command of which 80-year-old starship to play out a simulated war game against the Enterprise?
The USS Hathaway.
Yes, for which event on the Enterprise did Beverly Crusher teach Data to dance?
Pass.
In Time's Arrow, which writer was working as a bellboy at the hotel at which Data stayed? I've started, so I shall finish. At which Data stayed in 19th century San Francisco?
Orson Welles.
Jack London. You had 1 pass there. The event on the Enterprise for which Beverly Crusher taught data to dance was the wedding of Miles O'Brien. You have scored, Doug Smith, 13 points. And our next contender, please. And your name?
Derek Hayes,
Occupation?
school teacher.
And your chosen subject?
The history of Manchester United.
2 minutes starting now. Who won a European Cup winners' medal after sitting on the bench as a non-playing substitute in United's victory in 1968?
Jimmy Rimmer.
Yes, who were United's opponents on 19th of February 1910 when the first league match was played at Old Trafford?
Liverpool.
Yes, when the old Newton Heath Club was wound up in 1902, who is generally credited with coming up with the name Manchester United?
Louis Rocker.
Yes. Which Scots-born wing-half who was on United's books from 1950 to 53 was the captain of the USA side that beat England 1-0 in the World Cup in 1950?
McIlvenney.
Yes. Who, when he joined United in October 1980 for £1.25 million, became the club's first £1 million player?
Gary Birtles.
Yes. At which ground did Bobby Charlton play his last league game in United's colours in April 73?
Stamford Bridge.
Yes. Who were United's opponents on the 8th of November 86, Alex Ferguson's first game in charge of the club?
Oxford United.
Yes. Who was United's manager from 1903 to 1912, won 2 league championships, the FA Cup, and also gained promotion from Division 2 as runners-up?
Ernest Magnol.
Yes. Which Manchester Evening News journalist is generally credited with coining the name Busby Babes?
Alf Clark.
Tom Jackson. United have only played Manchester City once in the FA Charity Shield when they beat them 1-0 in 1956. Who scored on that occasion?
Alex Dawson.
Dennis Viollet. In 1913, John joined his brother James to become the first brothers to play for Manchester United. What was their surname?
West.
Hodge. Which central defender was sent off on his United debut in a League Cup match against York City in September 95 and never played for the club again?
Pat McGibbon.
Yes. In August 71, United were forced to play 2 home games at neutral venues after Old Trafford had been closed due to crowd trouble. One of the venues was Anfield. Which was the other?
Victoria Ground, Stoke.
Yes. Which Scottish architect was responsible for the designing and building of Old Trafford in 1909 and 1910?
McAlpine.
Archibald Leach. Which defender made his United debut the day before the Second World War started and had to wait 7 years before making his next appearance?
Henry Coburn.
Alan B. Chilton. Whose penalty did Peter Schmeichel save during injury time? I'll finish the question. When United beat Arsenal in the 1999 FA Cup semi-final?
Dennis Bergkamp.
It was indeed. You had no passes, Derek Hayes. You have 11 points. And that brings us to the end of our first round on specialist subjects. So let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 7, Mark Howdle. In 3rd place with 11, Derek Hayes. In 2nd place with 13 points and 1 pass, Doug Smith. In the lead at the moment with 13 and no passes, Ruth Newbury. So we move on to round 2 now, the general knowledge round, and if there's a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes will be taken into account, and the contender with the fewest passes will be declared the winner. If there's still a tie on points, then there'll be a 5-question playoff. So let's get on with the general knowledge round, and let me ask Mark Howdle to join us again, if you would, please. And you're an investment banker who took a year out to go back to university.
Yes.
Do an MPhil. Why?
I got tired of banking. I'd been doing it for a while, and I wanted to have a break. But also, I'd got quite interested in the development of the European Union, and this MPhil was a chance for me to find out the little how and why questions about European integration.
Isn't it quite difficult going back to university at a slightly older age?
Well, it is, financially especially.
But you were an investment banker, so that was no problem, was it?
It still hurt.
7 points with your knowledge of the European Union. General knowledge starting now. Which Dutch city, home to the artist Vermeer, is famous for its blue and white patterned glazed earthenware?
Delft.
Correct. Which news editor who first appeared in the Mary Tyler Moore Show later became city editor of the Los Angeles Tribune?
Pass.
In Grand Prix motor racing, what does a black flag with white numbers mean?
Lap numbers.
Stop in the pits. From its Greek definition, by whom or by what would you be governed if you lived in an ochlocracy?
Pass.
Which poet was widely supposed to have had a love affair with his half-sister Augusta Lee?
Pass.
Which Shakespeare play features two sets of twins and was the inspiration for the musical The Boys from Syracuse?
The Comedy of Errors.
Yes. What is the more common name for the caudal fin of a fish, which is used for propulsion, steering and balancing while moving?
Pass.
Which planet did Paul Atreides inherit from his father in Frank Herbert's 1965 sci-fi novel?
Pass.
Which word meaning source has been used since the 70s to describe rhythmic, up-tempo Latin American music?
Salsa.
Yes, according to the Acts of the Apostles, who was the first Christian martyr?
St. Stephen.
Yes. H2SO4 is the chemical formula for which acid?
Pass.
The US government agency established in '58 to develop vehicles for space exploration is known by what acronym?
NASA.
Yes, the birdcatcher Papageno is one of the characters in which opera by Mozart?
The Magic Flute.
Yes, which political theorist married his childhood friend Jenny von Westphalen in 1843?
John Stuart Mill.
Karl Marx. Which rank in the RAF is the equivalent of the army rank of major?
Pass.
Which river are the Thousand Islands after which the salad dressing is named?
Pass.
Which French revolutionary artist painted the death of Marat and the coronation of Napoleon?
Pass.
Who was appointed Commander-in-Chief in Southeast Asia in July 41 after being removed from North Africa following his failure against Rommel?
Allenbury.
It was the first Earl Wavell. And you had 9 passes altogether. The artist was David. The Thousand Islands, that came from St. Lawrence, after a fashion. Major in the army is a squadron leader in the RAF. H2SO4 is sulfuric acid. The planet in question in that sci-fi novel was Dune. The more common name for that fin was the tail fin. The poet supposed to have had a love affair with his half-sister was Lord Byron. It is a mob, the ochlocracy. The news editor who first appeared in the Mary Tyler Moore Show was Lou Grant. 9 passes. Mark Howdle, you had 7 points. You now have 13 points. And now Derek Hayes, please. And 11 points with Manchester United. You are a fan, a big fan.
Well, I've supported the club almost 50 years, yes. I suppose that makes me a big fan.
And you're a season ticket holder. You've got to be a millionaire to be that now, haven't you, or something?
Well, no, as a visually impaired person, I'm allowed to go in a special enclosure behind, a special section behind one of the goals at Old Trafford where we have commentaries laid on for people who can't see the game.
And you're a teacher.
I teach mainly in the 6th form of the Rivington and Blackrock High School. The only problem is that lots of them support Bolton Wanderers. So,
You allow that, do you?
on Monday morning, when Manchester United have lost to Bolton Wanderers, I do try and keep a low profile.
Right, well, you got 11 points, so let's see how you do with your general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. According to the Gospel of St. John, what was the name of the brother of Mary and Martha whom Jesus brought back to life?
Lazarus.
Yes, what alternative name was used for the Irish pound, which was taken out of circulation in 2002?
Punt.
Yes, by what name were the Commonwealth Games known when they were first held in 1930?
The Empire Games.
Yes, how was the pirate Edward Teach, whose ship Queen Anne's Revenge is believed to have been discovered off the coast of North Carolina early in 1997, better known?
Blackbeard.
Yes, originally known as artificial silk, what name was given in 1924 to the first man-made fibre to be commercially produced?
Rayon.
Yes, which 19th century poet lived on the Isle of Wight for many years and has a down on the island named after him?
Shelley.
Tennyson. Which planet has the largest number of natural satellites, with 39 known up to May 2002?
Jupiter.
Yes, used in treating broken bones, which substance is made by mixing a powder obtained from the mineral gypsum with water?
Plaster Paris.
Yes, who composed the 2 sets of 24 preludes and fugues for keyboard, which he named the Well-Tempered Clavier?
Bach.
Yes. Which former Spanish diplomat was president of the International Olympic Committee from 1980 until 2001?
Sam Ranch.
Correct. Which New York skyscraper stands on the site of the old demolished Waldorf Astoria Hotel on 5th Avenue at 34th Street?
Pass.
Tommy Steele sculpted the statue of which character from a Lennon and McCartney song situated in Stanley Street, Liverpool?
Eleanor Rigby.
Yes. Whose portrait of the Duke of Wellington was stolen from the National Gallery in '61 but recovered 4 years later?
Constable.
Goya. In ancient Rome, Cloacina was the goddess of which civic amenity?
Bath.
Sewers. The film version of which novel by D.H. Lawrence includes a nude wrestling scene with Alan Bates and Oliver Reed?
Sunderland Lovers.
Women in Love. Which general, who was appointed Commander-in-Chief of the American Expeditionary Force in Europe in 1917, gave his name to a nuclear missile?
Pershing.
Correct. What is the name of the marshy area in southern Florida which was established as a national park in 1947?
Everglades.
Yes. Under what name was Thomas Edison's sound recording apparatus, the forerunner of the gramophone, patented?
No, I don't know.
The phonograph. So, you had 2 passes, that being one of them. The New York skyscraper is the Empire State Building. You had 2 passes then, 11 points first round, 23 points now. And now Doug Smith, please. And you're a postgrad student doing what?
Chemistry.
Why chemistry?
Because when I was 9, I witnessed magic. My teacher placed a orange powder onto a hot plate, set fire to it, and it promptly changed colour and doubled in size. Since then, I've been in love with the way that you can do something to something and it changes into something else. It was a fairly simple reaction at the time, but it seemed like magic to me.
Right, well, you're clearly a Star Trek fan because you got 13 points, which is a high score for that. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. Who won the 2003 Best Actress Oscar for her role in the film Monster?
Halle Berry.
Charlize Theron. Which road bridge opened in 1981 lies at the northern end of the A15?
The Humber Estuary Bridge.
Yes. Which Gilbert and Sullivan opera has the alternative title The Town of Titipu?
The Mikado.
Yes. The Ardennes is a wooded plateau that occupies most of the Luxembourg, Namur and Liège provinces of which country?
Belgium.
Yes. The Scottish physicist James Dewar invented which device now used to keep substances such as food and drink at high or low temperature?
The vacuum flask.
Yes. In the film High Noon, what was the religion of Sheriff Will Kane's bride?
Mormon.
Quaker. Which nursery rhyme character is known as Hilarin Lirulin in Finland, Lille Triel in Denmark, and Humpulken Pumpulken in parts of Germany?
Rumpelstiltskin.
Humpty Dumpty. What name is given to the hernia where the abdominal part of the esophagus protrudes through the diaphragm into the chest?
Pass.
Which cult American band founded by John Cale and Lou Reed was at one time managed by Andy Warhol?
Pass.
Which agency in the United Nations has the initials WHO?
The World Health Organization.
Yes. Who is the only Englishman to have scored his 100th first-class century in a test match?
Graham Gooch.
Geoffrey Boycott. In which month is St. Luke's summer, an unusually fine spell of weather occurring around the feast day of St. Luke?
July.
October. Who made her screen debut as Laurie, the only girl in town without a date and so able to babysit on Halloween?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes. In which village, the probable inspiration for Under Milk Wood and his home for many years, is Dylan Thomas buried?
Pass.
Brontophobia is the extreme fear of what meteorological phenomenon?
Meteorites.
Thunder. What name is given to the smoked Italian sausage made of ground pork and beef with cubes of pork fat and often with pistachio nuts added?
Salami.
Mortadella. In which city are the headquarters of the Ordnance Survey, Britain's national mapping agency?
Bracknell.
Southampton. The bone disease rickets is normally caused by a deficiency... Finish the question. By a deficiency of which vitamin?
Vitamin D.
Vitamin D is correct. You had 3 passes there. Dylan Thomas and Larne is the village. The American band was Velvet Underground, and that bit of the esophagus is the hiatus hernia. So, you had 13 points from your first round. You now have a total of 20 points. And now, Ruth Newbury, please. Well, 13 points with your knowledge of what Katy did and all that. What's so interesting about those particular books?
They're 100 years old and they've never been out of print in this country.
Have they not?
Although America abandoned them some time ago. And if you look at recent surveys of teenage girls' literature, she comes 10th and 12th, I think, in 2 of the surveys I found. She's still a very popular person.
Why? What is it? I mean, because they are dated, aren't they, by now?
They're very
sort of
dated,
slightly
and they're-
moralistic and all that.
I think it's the same reasons they still read about Anne of Green Gables and they still read about Laura Ingalls Wilder. In all of those, I think that adventures of girls in times past, I think, is of interest still.
Right, well, you scored 13 points with your knowledge of what Katy did. 23 is the score to beat. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. What was the name of the winged horse of Greek legend which sprang from the blood of the slain Gorgon Medusa?
Pegasus.
Yes, which actor starred as the Ringo Kid in the 1939 Western Stagecoach?
John Wayne.
Yes, Winsford Rock in Cheshire is the only working example in Britain of what sort of mine?
Salt.
Yes. Which metallic element became recognised as a precious hallmarkable metal in 1976?
Platinum.
Yes. Which city in the Canadian province of Alberta is celebrated for its annual stampede, first held in 1912?
Calgary.
Yes. A Greek shepherd, Spiridion Lewis, was the first winner of which modern Olympic event?
The marathon.
Yes. Who was nominated for a Best Actor Oscar for the title role in the '69 musical remake of the film Goodbye, Mr. Chips?
That man who's fair... No, pass.
Which dance takes its name from a former cotton trading port in South Carolina?
Charleston.
Yes. Which make of sports car was developed by Cecil Kimber, the manager of Morris Garages, from 1923?
MG.
Yes. In which American state does Venice lie to the south of Sarasota and St. Petersburg to the north?
New Hampshire.
No, Florida. What term is used to denote a computer system or program designed to be used by those who are not highly skilled in computer techniques?
Pass.
In which castle is Queen Mary's doll's house kept?
Windsor Castle.
Yes. Which gentleman thief was aided in his life of crime by his former school fag, Bunny Manders?
Raffles.
Yes. Who captained England to victory in the 2003 Rugby Union World Cup?
Wilkinson.
Martin Johnson. At which so-called Battle of 1890 did the US 7th Cavalry massacre some 200 Sioux, men, women and children?
Wounded Knee.
Yes. Who composed music for the Royal Fireworks in 1749 to celebrate the signing of the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle that ended the War of the Austrian Succession?
Handel.
He did. In chess, what term is used for the move when the king and rook, I'll finish the question, change places?
Castling.
It is indeed. And you had 2 passes. The term used in computing is user-friendly, and it was Peter O'Toole, the actor whose name you were struggling to remember. However, you have scored, on top of the 13 points you already had, 26 points. So, at the end of that high-scoring, very tight contest, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 13 points, Mark Howdle. In 3rd place with 20 points, Doug Smith. In 2nd place with 23 points, Derek Hayes. In 1st place with 26 points, Ruth Newbury. So, Ruth Newbury goes through to the next round and moves a step closer, perhaps, to becoming our Mastermind champion. Congratulations to her. Please join us next time for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Tonight, the nation's love affair with a steam locomotive that symbolises all that was great about British engineering. The Flying Scotsman, a rail romance at 9. And we're celebrating Britain's heritage next on BBC Two.